plant nutrition. In order to live and to perform the various vital functions of the body, a living organism must be provided with sufficient energy. This energy is obtained from breaking down energy-rich organic molecules in food. We can always find that they come directly or indirectly from green plants. The process of photosynthesis occurs when green plants use the energy of light to convert carbon dioxide, CO2, and water, H2O, into carbohydrates. Photosynthesis is the process by which green plants use chlorophyll to convert light energy into chemical energy, which is in turn used to produce sugars from water and carbon dioxide, liberating oxygen as a byproduct. What are the raw materials of photosynthesis? First is carbon dioxide that is obtained from air. It diffuses into the leaves through tiny pores called stomata. Secondly, water is obtained from the soil. It enters the plant through the root hairs by osmosis, and travels up the xylem vessels to the leaves. The numerous root hair cells provide a very large surface area for the uptake of water ions from the soil. Osmosis continues in the adjacent cortex cells until water reaches the xylem vessels. When water reaches the veins of the leaf, the water moves into the mesophyll cells in response to an osmotic gradient. Conditions for photosynthesis. Light and chlorophyll are the necessary conditions for photosynthesis. Light energy comes from the sun, while chlorophyll is found in the chloroplasts of plant cells. Chlorophyll traps sunlight energy to convert it into chemical energy. Chlorophyll is a green-colored pigment that contains magnesium. Products of photosynthesis. 1. Sugar. The sugar is almost immediately converted to starch in the leaves. Glucose cannot be stored because it is very soluble. Therefore, glucose must be converted into sucrose before it is transported away from the leaf via phloem tissues by translocation. 2. Oxygen. It is a byproduct of photosynthesis. Oxygen from the mesophyll cells diffused down the concentration gradient into the intercellular spaces and out through the stomata of the leaf down their concentration gradient into the atmosphere surrounding the leaf. Osmosis continues in the adjacent cortex cells until water reaches the xylem vessels. 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O makes C6H12O6 and 6O2.
The amazing process of photosynthesis. A look around at nature is an absolute treat to our senses. We all enjoy the colors and fragrance of plants, but seem to forget about their important contribution. Plants are an absolute necessity for life on Earth. It is so because of the process of photosynthesis. A closer look at a plant shows that it is firmly held in the soil by the help of roots. These roots absorb water from the soil and through the tiny tubes transport it to the stem and then to the leaves. The stem holds the leaves in such a way that they absorb maximum energy from sunlight. A leaf is a very important part of the plant. Photosynthesis, the ultimate provider of food and oxygen, occurs in the leaf. A leaf consists of a flat, thin lamina, which is joined to the stem by a petiole. The flattened lamina provides large surface area for trapping sunlight. A cross-section of the leaf shows the upper and lower layers of cells, which are flat and irregular. Below the upper layer is the layer of tightly packed cells. These cells have specialized organelles called chloroplasts. Chloroplasts contain the pigment chlorophyll, which gives the green color to the leaf. The next layer has loosely arranged cells with large air spaces. This section also shows tubes specific for transporting the absorbed water into the leaves. The lower layer has many pores called stomata. Each stoma is surrounded by two guard cells, which regulate opening and closing of the stomata. A leaf absorbs carbon dioxide from the environment through these stomata, which after passing through air spaces, enter into the chlorophyll-containing cells. Both water and carbon dioxide molecules are finally absorbed by the chloroplast. These chloroplasts also have the capacity for trapping energy from sunlight, and this energy is used to synthesize glucose and oxygen from carbon dioxide and water. These oxygen and glucose molecules diffuse out of the chloroplast. The glucose is transported through other specialized tubes to all parts of the plant, aiding in their growth. The oxygen present in these air spaces diffuses out through the stomata. So, during photosynthesis, oxygen is given as the life-sustaining gaseous component of the atmosphere, while glucose or food is transported to all parts of the plant and used for growth. To summarize, green plants can make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Plants are held in the soil with the help of roots. These roots absorb water and send it to the leaves through specialized tubes. The lower layer has many pores called stomata. A leaf absorbs carbon dioxide from the environment through these stomata. Both water and carbon dioxide molecules are finally absorbed by the chloroplast. Where in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, they synthesize glucose and release oxygen. The oxygen diffuses out through the stomata. The glucose is transported through other specialized tubes to all parts of the plant, aiding in their growth.
Limiting factors of photosynthesis. As one supply increases, the rate of photosynthesis will increase as long as other things that are required are in adequate supply, such as carbon dioxide and water. For example, if we increase light intensity and there is no carbon dioxide, then the shortage of carbon dioxide will stop the rate of photosynthesis from increasing. The following graphs will explain you the concept of limiting factors. In example 1, the photosynthetic rate increases greatly when the carbon dioxide concentration is increased from 0.03%, graph A, to 0.13%, graph B, at 20 degrees Celsius. This shows that carbon dioxide is an important limiting factor after point X in graph A. Study example 2 carefully. For graph 1, as the light intensity increases, the rate of photosynthesis increases from O to A. Light is a limiting factor. Light is no longer a limiting factor beyond point A since the rate remains a constant even though light intensity increases. Temperature or carbon dioxide concentration may be the limiting factor that causes the leveling off of the graph along AB. For graph 2, increasing the temperature from 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius with the carbon dioxide remaining a constant does not really affect the rate as shown in graph 2. Therefore temperature is not a limiting factor. For graph 3. When the temperature remains a constant and the carbon dioxide concentration of the environment is raised to 0.13%, the rate of photosynthesis increases as shown in graph 3. Therefore carbon dioxide concentration is a limiting factor in AB in graph 1. For graph 4. The limiting factor from E to F in graph 3 is the temperature of its surroundings. Increasing the temperature from 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius causes an increase in the rate of photosynthesis as shown in graph 4, although the carbon dioxide concentration remains constant at 0.13%. Factors affecting photosynthesis. Photosynthetic rate increases with light intensity until a certain point when some other factor becomes a limiting factor and prevents further increase in rate. Rate increases with increasing carbon dioxide concentration. Under natural conditions, carbon dioxide is an important limiting factor since atmospheric carbon dioxide remains constant at around 0.03% by volume. Rate increases with temperature up to an optimal temperature, that is usually 37 degrees Celsius.